Landscape photography is incredibly rewarding, but incredibly hit and miss, because the only thing you can control is you. Well, I realise you can't see a great deal, but the sun is coming up. We leave Harvey the motorhome behind. We're gonna clamber up, and whether you can see, you probably can't. Oh, picking up something I can see on the screen. We're gonna go up here, where I was in last week's video, and we're going to try and capture that fire in the sky. Hopefully get some banging photos. Well, you get up for sunrise once in a blue moon, and you find that 2 others have beaten you to your location. Oh well, I suppose if I'd have got out of the van, maybe just even 5 minutes before, I'd have been there first. Hey, early bird catches the worm. But anyway, I think my shot here is probably all right. So effectively, we're just waiting for the light. The struggle that I have is with the horizon, and it's getting this furthest peak that you can see in frame there to kind of just come over the horizon enough to create that separation. It does, but it literally just peaks the horizon. It's not enough, whilst retaining the lower one there under the horizon. Now that's well under the horizon, but it would be nice to have either both of them under the horizon, or one well under and one well over, and I don't think we have the topography to achieve that. Even if I get really low here, I can't really achieve that. I suppose if I went down the slope a little, I might get something, but then I think we lose the foreground. So going too low here doesn't break it enough, and it creates an overbearing foreground. So I suppose, yeah, it is what it is. Perhaps if I go further up. Come higher, but again it doesn't quite work. In order to really get that furthest peak to be really below the horizon, I need to be probably up on the top of that rock, or I need to get the drone up. Now obviously with the drone we can do it, but we can't create a vertical shot with the drone, and yeah, it's not going to be perfect, but I don't get out for sunrise often. It's lucky it's only kind of 6 o'clock at this time of year, so it's somewhat easier, and well, and you can see there it's beginning to kind of brighten up the sky rather nicely. Some nice colour coming in, so wait and see what happens. But the light, yeah, now we can see the light really picking up on the hills over here now. It's kicking off. Just a matter of time before that glow, really, it's just catching the peak. Just catching the peak up there now. Lovely, it's gorgeous. So I'm going to set the camera up just to touch focus and snap. midges everywhere. Chap over there gave me a spray of smidge, thank you very much to him. I didn't think of picking it up this morning, I don't know why. The light just coming up and catching that peak is fabulous. Jeez, the midges are everywhere. You probably even see them on camera. They are swarming everywhere. I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to come out of this photo shoot looking like some kind of pockmarked teenager. So I have recomposed a little. I've pulled from being kind of there to here, I suppose, what, 4 or 5 feet movement. And I was concerned about a little bit of dead space on the ground there. Now I think this shot and this composition is much nicer because it's got a path leading round. Arguably I could get a little lower just to catch the peak and get a little bit more sky. I think I should probably do that. Hold on. God, they're everywhere. Well, the light spectacle seems to have calmed down for a minute, kind of everywhere. It must have cut into some cloud up there, which is a shame because the peaks were really picking up some gorgeous colour. But they're not now. In actual fact, none of them. All of that over there's become lifeless as well. Lightless, not lifeless, lightless. It's just a waiting game. So I had a fly of the drone and waiting for the light, and as the drone was up there was a little bit suddenly come out and I thought I'll get it down quickly, and because I was looking straight into it, it was rather nice, but the drone wasn't exposing it terribly well. But it was fleeting and the light really hasn't come and picked up on these peaks over here. Which is a shame. It's a terrible shame. And I don't know, of course, whether we're going to get any. Run off a few shots every now and again anyway, because I mean it's a nice enough scene. Yeah, there's interest in the cloud and the sky. We just haven't got the sunrise colour. What's the time? It's 20 to 7. So, if anybody ever tells you that landscape photography is just a case of rocking up, pressing the button, and going home again, and selling your prints for tens or hundreds of pounds, or I suppose in the case of the really famous, thousands of pounds, then you're wrong. They're wrong. Sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes you can kind of rock up and you can find that composition. You can do it really quickly. Other times, most of the time, you can't. You've got to know the location. You've got to scout the location, you've got to understand where the light comes from, where it hits at particular times of year, and of course you've got to be there. And for me, if this shot comes off, then I will almost certainly offer it as a print. Somehow there will be a print of this available soon. But for me, I've driven nearly 300 miles for this shot. Well, not just for this shot, for lots of shots on a photo trip. But that's for me a commitment of nearly a week so far, and I've not really had a chance to review the shots that I've got. For me, this is an investment of a week of time, good few £100 in fuel, and early mornings, camera equipment, all that kind of stuff. It's not just a case of rocking up, it's a case of rocking up time and time again, or just rocking up and being lucky. But being lucky isn't just lucky. It's understanding where to put the camera, it's understanding what your settings need to be, it's understanding all of these things that make a composition and make a good photo. And landscape photography is incredibly rewarding, but incredibly hit and miss, because the only thing you can control is you. Whatever you're doing, wherever you are, what equipment you're using, what settings you're using, where you put it, all of these things are you. And it makes it sound like a lot, doesn't it? But it's nothing without this. It's literally nothing without this, and it's less without that light. And if you don't have the light, you don't have a photograph, because quite literally photography means to capture light. Don't know. What are we going to do now? Just stand here and wait? Maybe fly the drone a bit more? Maybe, I don't know. We wait. It's a waiting game, and we just don't know what's going to happen. It's not helped here by the fact that the light and everything is on the other side of this cliff. So without putting the drone up and playing about with drone exposure and everything, I can't really see what the cloud base is doing over there, whether we're likely to get a break in the cloud, or whether we're going to just continue to see this kind of broken cloud and eventually pick up a bit of light on that, but it wouldn't be golden light. Let's see what happens next. So as you can see, I'm no longer in the motorhome, but there are many more videos to come from both the Peak District and indeed North Yorkshire. In the video you've just been watching, I said this: if this shot comes off, then I will almost certainly offer it as a print. Somehow there will be a print of this available soon. And I've come back and I've thought, you've got to give it a go sometime, haven't you? And you can't just keep showing your images on a YouTube page and Vero and all of these other social medias. You've got to do something about it. So I have a print. It's not intended to be freestanding, I do have to point this out, but it is nicely freestanding. You can see here, because it's on a really heavy textured watercolour paper, it's very, very nice. So to get a better idea of this image, I'll put it up on screen now. So this is printed out at A3. It's available in a limited edition of just 5, and I will obviously number each one and sign each one for you. It's available for just £50, And as I said, it's A3, so it will fit in any off-the-shelf frame that you care to go and purchase. I really hope that you like this enough to send me an email and say, yeah, I'd really like that hanging on my wall. And if you do, I'd be incredibly grateful, because running the channel, even as small as it is, I mean, the size of the channel doesn't really affect the cost of running it, is becoming quite prohibitive now. Now that the cost of living is really beginning to bite, and I do need to try and get a bit of income from all of the time I spend with the camera making these videos and all of this other stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So ordinarily I ask for a cup of coffee and support, and of course, if you're prepared to donate a price for a cup of coffee, I'm not going to say no, thank you very much for that, and thank you very much for everybody that has already donated. But here is just a little something, a very limited edition of 5 that I'm hoping that you like enough to purchase. So that's £50 plus postage and packing, and we can take a PayPal payment and such on that. I did get some other shots on this video as well, so I'll put those up now, and thank you very much for watching, and I really do hope that I can interest you in one of these prints. And if this idea of printing just a few limited edition shots or print from certain videos kind of works, then I'll do it again, and we'll have to see what happens next. But if you want to see the scouting trip that I had the day and evening before taking this shot, check out this video here. And if you want to see some dead good photos, check out that one. Oh, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You take care. See you soon. Yes, I'm holding this pose.